Hello there, it's me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we are about to look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine sides of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others and in our external environment. And if we want to see changes, we have to make changes. And on Fridays, we release obstacles with the feminine side of self and we rebuild with the masculine side of self. Remember, this is the energy inside of you. You will find out things about your person because they will reflect your energy. But this is the divine state of that person. If that person had no ego, wasn't limited by, 3D reality, this is how they would speak, but they would only speak this way because that's how the divine speaks. So you have to keep that in mind. I'm getting a late start. I'm exhausted. I didn't even stay out that late, but I'm just old and I drank like one too many drinks because I got a free extra shot and it's free, so you should drink it. So here we are. And also, I hate drinking. I don't understand why people do it. I don't like it. It doesn't even feel good anymore. Like, I don't think it ever did. I think it was a mystery. I would always be like, why do people like this? Anyway, my bad. Now I'm extra tired. Okay, we're going to start with the feminine side of self, head space and heart space. We are looking at the position, which will be the general energy surrounding what the feminine side of self is needing help with releasing. So this is what you need to release, and your feminine side of self is going to assist in the release using her Empress energy. Okay. Hey, look, it's a King of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. There are some in the collective who need to break up with someone. They need to release a masculine energy that's been very like a specific iteration of a person or an attachment to a person. And this may not be necessarily what they need to release, but this is the general energy. This is where they feel they need a release. They either need to be released from this very slow moving, even if he's solid, reliable, stable, this is a turtle. It's moving very, very slowly. And even though there's this potential for expansion and growth here, and there's wisdom, and like, this is a great king, but this is how I feel about this king. So maybe we're not looking at we need to release somebody, we need to break up with somebody. Maybe we are looking at the general energy needs to be not feeling brokenhearted, not feeling heartache in regards to a person that you're very focused on right now. Your hidden assistance for removing this block is going to be this Two of Swords, which you hate, and this Knight of Cups in reverse, which you also hate. The Knight not showing up with an offer, not making a decision and keeping you in a standstill, and yet we're looking at the position in this reading as your hidden assistance. So what have you been blocking? What have you been setting up a boundary around? What have you been, not wanting to make a decision about? Whatever that is, you're keeping yourself from getting burnt by being in this standstill with this person, by not offering and not overgiving with someone, and just going within and focusing on yourself. You are allowing yourself, this is what's going to help you to release this energy associated with the heartbreak about this person. If you're focused on your own shit, then this person coming or going doesn't affect you, right? You're released from the heartache of that person because you've gone within. You rely on the divine to make the decision about whether or not this person gets to be a part of your world or not, okay? So releasing the heartache of this person, or that's what we're looking at. There's heartache associated with somebody. So let's look at what we actually need to release, because this is what past experience do I need to release? I can't make this up. This is a King of Cups in shadow and an Emperor in shadow. So you've experienced somebody who seemed good for you, who seemed like the whole package, who seemed like what we would call the divine masculine. But this individual or individuals, because there might be plural, they were extraordinarily rigid, controlling, stubborn, sometimes verbally, emotionally abusive, overreactive, under expressive, completely silent, unwilling to communicate, right? Sound familiar? Welcome to the twin flame journey. We experience these knuckleheads because it shows us that there's this part of ourselves that is fully unwilling to express the feminine energy and represses the feminine emotions, even if we feel connected to them, and instead surrenders them to the control of an authority figure that is usually a dominant masculine energy. This is our own shit we need to release. A King of Pentacles can't hurt us if we don't give that person control over our emotions. Right? Okay. So we need to release this experience with the person who made us feel unworthy because they wouldn't communicate our worthiness to us. What they did was show us that we felt unworthy. So the gift they gave us is that in order for us to hear our worthiness, we had to express it within ourselves. That's why this has actually been hidden assistance for you to come into your power. What can I do right now to soothe myself? No shit. The Emperor in reverse and the Eight of Cups in reverse. There's a panic that ensues when we see a reading where we have to release a specific masculine energy. We don't want to release a person. We don't want to walk away from the person. But what you're walking away from is not the person. You're walking away from the cycles of behavior that come from this person. And you are saying, what I do not allow, I do not condone. But what I allow, I condone. So you're not having to leave behind this person. If this person is truly your twin, you can't. They're your divine masculine. So don't try to stop yourself from loving this person. Don't feel that in order for you to be free, you have to forget about them forever. That's not the lesson. The lesson is you actually have to remember them forever, loving them unconditionally in your heart space, and still go towards your higher calling. What you're leaving behind is your own controlling behaviors, your own rigidness, your own stubbornness that prevents you from expressing in the feminine, from balancing the feminine energy. What can soothe you right now is just really understanding that you're not walking away from the love of this person. It is eternal. But you are walking away from the patterns you have with them that are very painful and toxic. What will help remove it? Right? No. I'm mixing up readings. What can I expect to encounter as I make space for new energy? That's better. Wow. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Oh, by the way, this is the Tarot of the Divine in the head space and the Crow Tarot in the heart space. And Six of Pentacles upright. You're finally going to see a change in your relationship, not only with this person, but with others. You're going to see this resistance to being able to receive is going to completely transform. That cycle will end when you finally release this past experience with this masculine energy. You experience the divine masculine in a certain person, and that person went into their shadow so that you could understand what your shadow, and they've taught you that. Now you can expect reciprocity. You know, honestly, I got a lot of numbers last night when I was out. I went out one time with the mindset of being like, you know what? I'm open to any experiences, because I'm not limiting myself anymore to play experiences where I give and the other person doesn't give back. And lo and behold, I had really attractive people approach me and want my number or give me theirs. There was a girl at the door. There was a girl at the door. There's a couple guys at the bar. It was so fun. I don't know. I have no desire right now to enter into any relationships with anyone. But I just needed to go out and be in a place where I'm like, oh, people communicate. When you talk, they talk back. Oh my God, what do you mean? When you express your confidence and that you feel worthy, then people that are equally confident and worthy come up to you and talk to you. If you don't feel weird or gross or creeped on, you feel like, oh, okay. Yeah, here's my number. Bully for you for being brave enough to approach me. I am a fiery queen, okay? So what you have to expect is if you release this past experience with the masculine energy that made you feel controlled, made you feel like they didn't express, and you soothe yourself by really understanding that when you let go, you don't have to let go of this person. You just let go of behaving a certain way with this person. If you then can make room for this change to happen where there's reciprocal interactions. It's a win-win, literally, a balancing of the scales, an ending of cycling through those same patterns where you had to learn this lesson. It's like lesson learned, right? The scales are justice. That means the karmic lesson is learned. What goes around comes around, right? Whatever you send out comes back to thee times 3. Okay, what behaviors have gotten in my way? Queen of Swords, you don't say. And the 2 of Wands, or the twin flame card. Divine Feminine, blocking yourself from anything that's not your twin has gotten in your way, thinking you know who that person is. I mean, this has really gotten in your way. So you have to be more discerning probably about how this label is not serving you. There's also an icy cold detachment. This is a general, hello there, Munchkin Raver 82. This is a collective reading where I'm working right now with the feminine side of self in a person, which means you're a person if you're focused on a person that presents in one energy or the other, like more masculine or more feminine. It doesn't really matter. Everybody's a balance. So within ourselves right now, I'm working on helping to release the block that's keeping us from coming into union with our manifestations. Don't worry. It's good when you interrupt because I have a chance to say this. This video will be here for others and they will have an understanding of what happens when they're entering here. So if you have questions you want to ask personally, you can go to pearlsprayers.com. There's an email there. You can ask me questions. All the information is in the description box. And I do answer live free questions on TikTok. It's kind of random, but then on Saturdays for sure, with Grace Strega, we do it. And you can always go into my email for any personal questions. All right, so divine feminine energy is really needing to release this behavior of being too cutting, too defensive, and cutting out any opportunities that don't seem like they are her twin. This is a real problem for her. This is what is hold her back because of this past experience she has with her twin or who she believes is her twin, or this could have just been a lot of relationships that were like this. This could be like, because usually we keep experiencing the same types of relationships. So she's got to let this go. She's got to stop worrying about, is this her twin? Is it not her twin? It literally doesn't matter. She just needs to release the attachment to a specific version of the thing that she wants because that is what holds her back. And this specific person that she is attached to that's moving very slowly and not really coming forward, that is causing this heartbreak. And the behaviors that, so she reacts to that heartbreak with this. This could also be like, I'm not going to do the twin flame journey anymore. It's bullshit. I'm just going to be really in my head and be logical and rational about this, which doesn't serve us, because the twin flame journey isn't logical and rational. That's the point. It's the thing that causes us to go into spiritual enlightenment. That's all. Spiritual enlightenment brings peace. Peace brings the ability to manifest what we desire, because we are not constantly consumed with fears and worries. Fears and worries block us from receiving what we need. Believing we know what we need is the ego. Letting go that we have no idea what is good for us, and surrendering to the divine. That's the lesson of the twin flame journey. It's not about your person. If you are here and you are just consumed with thoughts about your person, you will have to go through a lot of healing before you will ever see that person ever again. And if they come back before the healing has been done, you will go into separation. You have to endure separation on the journey. The separation, the standstill, is where the healing takes place. This is where the divine helps you to choose a path, because it causes you to go within and find the wounds and heal them. So what can I do to avoid this behavior? 10 of Cups in reverse and the 5 of Cups upright. You need to release this past vision of your happiness, where you thought that this one iteration of your life was what was meant to be. You got that idea. Let me tell you where you got that idea. You want to hear where it's from? I just experienced it last night at the piano bar. You got it from dramatic films, movies, books, stories, songs, and Disney movies. Do you really think life is a Disney movie? If you kind of go back through your life, you can probably figure out pretty quickly that life is not a Disney movie. If life was a Disney movie, the bodies would fall apart because they weren't physically structured, capable of movement or birthing children. So we'd be fucked. That is a ridiculous exaggeration of archetypal stories that we then try to impose upon reality, right? So in order to stop cutting out opportunities, worrying about, this specific person, you've got to release your belief that they are your source of happiness. That belief is absolutely false. I guarantee you, I can get that person right now, whatever state you're in, if you are unhealed, which you are, if you're here needing to release and rebuild. You can be unhealed and be with somebody, but you have to do the healing with them. But for this particular person, if I go get them right now and go, oh, here you go. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is so great. And you're going to have that experience for a very, very short period of time. If you think about the fact that your relationship with the soul is eternal. So for 5 minutes or even 5 milliseconds, nanoseconds in the grand scheme of eternity, you're going to have a fun time and, get off with somebody that's going to be really extraordinary. And then you're going to go right back into separation. And you'll be unhappy. And it's not because of the person. It's because you thought that if you had the person, you were going to feel better. But nothing about that person makes you feel better. Nothing. They are your excuse for seeing the world through the eyes of Source, which makes you feel connected to unconditional love that comes from a higher power. They hold you in that same regard for as long as they can, until they become based in ego again, which we're constantly cycling through. So this picture of your happiness must be redrawn. You need to get a notebook or a sketch pad or a dream map, or however you want to do it. And you need to write down your dreams. And those dreams need to be about you entirely. And the person that is featured in your dreams, your companion, your partner, your your fertilizer, or whatever you are going to call it. That energy is simply a vague, general idea of what you think makes you happy in partnership. We have fun. We laugh. We do things together. Oh, wait a minute. I can do all those things with my friends. I can do all those things with myself. So as long as everything in your vision is truly applicable to any experience, and you can be completely open to any experience, you open the door to your twin coming to you and to a lot of other soulmates coming to you. I'm sure I met a soulmate last night that I don't know about. There's probably one I met. It happens all the time when you're magnetic, and I was magnetic last night. I could feel it. I was getting free shit. When you get free shit, you're on fire, right? Also, they make my drinks extremely strong. I had one drink. I was like, what? I used to have to drink a bottle of gin to even feel anything. And I was like, ugh, after like one tropical drink. I went into the bar and I was like, please make me something that's like pineapple and like cherry and like, coconut rum, but then not like too sweet. And I just want one of those. And then after that, all I want is a really nice gin and club. That was how I rolled. And the first drink was C'est magnifique. But anyway, I digress. This is the second part of what will help end the behaviors. Once you've eliminated this idea that you know what constitutes this, that you think you know what you need to be optimistic. You need to look away from this past experience that's causing you to be blocked, and you need to focus on the possibility that the experience you had with this individual was meant not for you to come to that individual per se, but to be able to be in healthy relationship at all with anyone, friends, parents, children, and future lovers. I'm not here to say you're not going to come into a union with your twin. That's the whole thing about this thing right here, about soothing yourself. But you're not going to come into union with the version of your twin that you think you're coming into union with. That version is not ready. That version ain't shit right now. He's working on it. But if he's ready for it, you'd see it. And that means there's a part of my masculine energy inside self that ain't shit right now, that I got to figure out. And that makes sense because as feminines, we are taught not to be fully in our masculine worth energy, right? So we could say that this is you releasing your sense that you're not good enough, your sense that you can't have your own independent empire, your sense that you can't have a solid financial foundation, your sense that you're not allowed to express as a feminine, right? Don't get fixated on just this person, or this is about a person, or this is about masculine energy. It's about energy, not gender, okay? The next position is, this is the final position, it is what is growing within me as the connect, or within me or in this connection as I move on. Wow. Justice. This is the balancing of the scales. This is learning the lesson. This is getting what we deserve, our just rewards. And the Seven of Swords, which when we're seeing it in a positive light, is about finally having a strategy, finally being able to kind of get away with what it is that you've desired. This can also be about surprises, that you're going to be surprised about the justice that you experience. Like, this is something that was hidden from you or secret. It's like you're learning a secret truth from actually being able to relinquish your twin. Your twin can't ever come back until you let your twin go. Because when you want something, you're in a state of wanting. And when you are in a state of wanting, you are not in a state of having. Okay, I'm sorry, because when I channel, I don't see the chat, but I'm seeing, can that come from childhood trauma? Yes, all of this stuff comes from childhood trauma. Okay, right there. I don't have friends right now, and you need a reading. Yes, go to pearlsprayers.com and book a reading, or jump in my email, and I'll help you choose which reading will work for you. But if you're feeling like you have a lack of friendships in your life right now, that is most likely because of this. because you've been spending all your time thinking about this person who is your twin or who you think is your twin. And you don't realize that the things that you're depending on this person to give you are available in all kinds of ways, not just romantically. And so you're needing to really develop a sense that you can get companionship and fun and, you know, partnership from your friendships, just like you can from a person. And then the other thing that's happening is that it's probably, if you're coming into your awakening, your spiritual awakening, all the friends go away that you had from the past, because those people are not on the same page. They don't understand. If you try to explain to them that you have a telepathic communication with somebody that you've had an eternal connection with and had multiple lives, lives where you weren't just lovers, but where you were mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, you know, friends, whatever, because we haven't only ever had romantic connections with our twin. We've literally had billions of permutations of experiences with them, because they're meant to teach us the lessons we need for us to ascend to a level where we can be masterful as healers. Most of us are usually descended from a line of healers or witches or, you know, visionaries or like, so all the people in our lives that were friends with the ego-based version of ourselves that lived in fear and uncertainty and didn't believe in magic and didn't believe in spirit, they just can't come along for the ride. And if you're a person who's always had that inside of you, you might not have had a lot of people around you anyway, because they're all fucking muggles. Like, no offense, muggles, but y'all are muggles. You don't know, you can't see magic. So when there's magic happening around you, you're like, did you see that? And muggles are like, no. What do you mean? I'm like, okay. Okay. So we get into a place where we're on our own, but what we were told is that's our hidden assistance. When you're alone and you believe in something, nobody can reflect your doubts back to you. Do you know that? I used to think living alone was the biggest curse. And then I think about the crazy shit I believe in and the people in my life that have literally said to me, I don't believe you, and fucked off. I'm like, okay, well, those people would have just constantly been reflecting my doubts back to me about what I do. And they can't be with me here because they don't support what I do. And it's not any shame on them. Like, I respect their beliefs. If they don't believe in it, that's okay. You don't have to believe in what I believe in. You just have to respect what I believe in. That's it. You just have to be like, okay, I think you believe in what you believe, and it's manifesting in a certain type of way for you. And I respect that. I'm not there with you though. And that's okay. But people usually can't do that because there can't be two realities. Like, you have to have a reality that you really feel is like stable, isn't shifting underneath you. So being alone sometimes is very helpful. Okay, let's move over now to the masculine side of self. This is the side of self that is going to help rebuild. We've just helped the feminine side release. Remember, your person has a feminine side. They are blocked by you. They are blocked by you being their twin. They are blocked by their focus on this journey as being about a person, about codependence, about the heartache that's been endured here. So they're releasing this too. Now, how do we rebuild? Let's go over here. We're going to look at the headspace, which I'm using the Small Spells Tarot for the headspace and the Wild Unknown Tarot for the heart space. So we are seeing a really interesting thing. Okay, this keeps happening in my readings, which I'm just like, what the hell? The top of the deck for the headspace yesterday was the same, and it's the same again in reverse. This is the release, right? The King of Pentacles. What do we need to rebuild? King of Pentacles. If we get rid of this idea of this slow moving one, what do we need to rebuild? We need to first of all not have an attachment to what that person looks like, but we need to rebuild an energy where they feel worthy enough to take action. So divine masculine needs to feel worthy enough to take action. He's rebuilding his self-worth. He has done something that has made him question his worthiness. He has either engaged in shady behavior, in deception. He could just feel like a failure. He could have carried this feeling with him for a long time, but he's needing to build up his confidence in his ability to be present in reality, to show up, to provide, to experience and share abundance, and to release the ego that keeps him from doing this. This also could be rebuilding his belief in himself if he's someone who's very concerned about his reputation. Okay, so that is what we're rebuilding. And then, ooh, that Father of Wands is for some reason spinning around and around. I don't know. Like sometimes my cards get like this and they are spinning, and that is. So this is somebody who's really wanting to take action. There's so much energy there, but he's vacillating because he's feeling like he's not worthy enough, but he's like, I will be worthy enough if I just take action, but I don't know if I'm worthy, but I need to just take action that will make me worthy, right? The next position we're looking at is his hidden assistance. This is what is going to help him rebuild his worthiness. We're seeing the Star in reverse and the World, which we already saw for Divine Feminine somewhere, didn't we? Oh no, she had the Wheel of Fortune, which was about cycles ending. Which was about changing, which was about change and being in cycles. This is about completing cycles, things being finally finished. So the cycle Divine Masculine has been in, where he has not been willing to reveal his feminine, this has actually been hidden assistance. Now, again, just like you were likely pissed when you found out that the thing that helped you the most is the standstill, the thing that has helped you the most in terms of being able to rebuild this connection is the fact that he didn't reveal you to anyone. Now, this is such a triggering feeling for me because I'm recovering from a childhood sexual trauma that took place before I was 4. And that person definitely, I don't know how, because I don't have direct memories of what they said to me, but they definitely threatened me in some way and requested that I keep this relationship, which they believed they had with me, secret. So my first relationship was, I have to keep it secret or I will destroy people's lives. And I'm 4. So what a lovely age to have that decision, right, that you have to make. So that I carried into my relationships as an adult without realizing it, because I didn't face that trauma until this last year. So now that I have an understanding that why, I used to be like, why do these people think I'm the fucking shit and so great and like tell me I'm amazing and want to be with me, and then like they are married or something, like I find out they're married, or like they just don't want to like tell their friends about us. Like my first husband, my ex-husband, he didn't tell his parents that we were dating for 2 years. We were already living together before he told them that, because he was ashamed that he lived with me before we were married. So I was even a secret to the person who was planning to marry. So the fact that this masculine has kept you hidden has given you either perspective, like I gained, like, why am I hidden? Oh, because I have this massive gaping wound. And also I'm choosing people that aren't really viable candidates so that I never have to discover how terribly evil the masculine energy is that would have hurt me so much as a child, right? So I never have to prove that, right? I choose emotionally unavailable people. I choose people who are not going to be an option. I choose people who are either going to prove the distortion of the masculine energy I believe in from a child, or I won't allow anyone to disprove it, because then my reality is fucking shifted, right? Just like I was saying with the person that can't believe in your reality. So masculine feels bad about not revealing you. But it's been the thing that has allowed these terrible cycles within yourselves to heal. For the masculine, he is allowing himself to get connected with the feminine energy and understand the healing that takes place when we allow the divine, the cosmos, to be a part of us. And it's about your wishes coming true as well, and hope. Having a lot of hope. This is someone who's desperately hoping that this will complete, that this will work out. This is, all these things have helped the masculine energy. Okay, first place that we're looking at here is what past experience challenges me in the rebuilding process. We have the 4 of Cups in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse. Divine Masculine is challenged in rebuilding because he doesn't really trust himself to be able to ground this fantasy he has. He doesn't feel like he can really feel worthy because this idea of himself is so grandiose. And he doesn't trust himself to really be able to do this. I also feel that this masculine energy doesn't trust the feminine energy yet. These are trust issues. He's not quite certain if she is going to live up to his fantasy of her. So he's afraid to make this a reality. Next position is, what can I do right now to build my confidence? 7 of Swords in reverse and the Knight of Cups, bitch. This guy, right? That's not giving the offer. You can shift into an energy of expressing, going with the flow of your emotions, not withholding your offer of love. And this most important 7 of Swords, which we saw in a positive light over here, being about having a strategy, being about us being surprised at the actual justice you'll receive once you just relinquish this attachment. Unveiling the secrecy. You will feel confident if you stop hiding and masking your feelings, period. You feel insecure because Divine Feminine doesn't know what the fuck you think or feel about her without going to my tarot readings. So the second that you release this mask, you take it off and you stop hiding from people and you express how you feel and you give offers of love to those around you and you just don't hide from your own feelings, you're going to feel confident. As soon as you're like, I love you, Divine Feminine is going to be like, yes, I know. Okay, what possible future challenges could arise? Page of Cups in reverse and 8 of Cups in reverse. This is emotional immaturity. It can be about not wanting to apologize, not wanting to actually really take the responsibility for your actions. And it can be about not really walking away from toxic behaviors. So this could be a person with addiction. It can be substance addiction. But remember, addiction, we tend to judge people who use substances as somehow less than because of the substances they use. For instance, you can pretty much, it's okay. Like you can be an alcoholic. You can, especially if you're a functional alcoholic, nobody's going to say shit to you. If you're like an extraordinarily obvious alcoholic whose life is crumbled all around you and you're like on the streets, we're going to judge you a little harder for that. But it's alcohol, right? If it's crack, forget about it. Like we're going to think you're just the there's no hope for you. If it's meth, you're like, wow, that's a really terrible addiction. We tend to like have a hierarchy of addiction. And I just kind of want to slap everybody into realizing that it doesn't matter what the fuck the substance is. Do you think there's a single person on the earth free of addiction? I'm addicted to tarot readings. I'm addicted to overgiving. I was addicted to constantly checking the social media of my DM, but I'm not anymore. I faced that addiction. I was like, wow, that doesn't feel good. I hate the way it makes me feel. I'm not going to do that anymore. Wow, I feel better now. We have so many addictions in our life. This doesn't have to be a substance. This can also be just toxic behaviors. Just really not wanting to being too emotionally immature to recognize that the constant behaviors that we engage in are toxic. So there is this challenge for the masculine, which to me looks like a temperance challenge, like needing to face our toxic behaviors. Then we got what possible future, what past behaviors have destabilized me? Oh, wow. It's the 3 of Swords in reverse in both decks. Holy shit. And just to holy shit even more, we already saw this card over here. What past energy has destabilized me? Third party energy, heartbreak, cutting past ties with past lovers, not doing it, not cutting past ties, leaving them hanging, leaving the entanglements, um, and having to heal from all of the pain that was caused in the past. This is having to heal from everything that has taken place with third party energy. And remember, this isn't just relationships. In this case, we're looking at romance, but this is also career, ego, whatever is keeping you, whatever energy is blocking you from moving forward is a third party energy in terms of a two-party union, right? If you're not together, there's an energy blocking you. It's not necessarily a person. We tend to focus a lot on karmics. I want you to go look in the mirror and I want you to see your karmic that you're focused on. Like whatever, if your person is dating someone else or married or has been, or there's this, go look in the mirror and find the way to see that person in yourself. If you can't do that, you will always have this wound with the masculine because they chose somebody who is either the very similar to you or is the exact opposite of you. So anything you're afraid of being, that person might be, or exaggerating the things in yourself that you don't want to be like, go have compassion for them. Go have compassion for their wounds. That's how you heal relationships where you have jealousy about somebody. Have compassion. They're taking the brunt of a masculine that's unhealed. They're unhealed too. That's why they're reflecting the energy back, but that's what they're getting. You know what your masculine is like when he's unhealed. Do you think he acted any differently with that karmic? Do you think he didn't breadcrumb, hoover, be inconsistent, be like, are you serious? He's been focused on you this whole time. So he literally wasn't showing up for that person. So have compassion for the karmic. Whenever I see people bash karmics, I'm like, okay, well, that's got to heal in you. That's got to heal in you because that's a person and we have to have unconditional love for every person, not just our masculine. In fact, right now, that karmic probably deserves more of our unconditional love because we know exactly what she's going through and it fucking sucks. Right? So this has been destabilizing, focusing on third-party energy and not healing the wounds that have been either sustained or inflicted. What can I do to avoid this and stabilize? Wow. The Emperor in reverse, which we also got 3 times in this reading. Shocking. Okay. Releasing stubborn, controlling, ruthless, arrogant, egotistical, asinine behavior and coming out of hermit energy. So right now we have a divine masculine that is literally like this. 9 of Cups energy, not sharing, not expressing, not experiencing my wish fulfillment, not doing it. Why? Because I don't feel good enough. I don't feel worthy enough. I don't feel stable. Because of what I have done or what I have failed to do. This is a prayer. That's a prayer. It's like, oh my Jesus, save me from the fires of hell. Forgive my sins. It's like something for what I have done or for what I have failed to do. I don't know. It's a Catholic prayer. Might be important for some of us that are Catholic. If you're curious about Catholicism, you can also hit me up. I practice Benedicaria, which is Catholicism and ritual magic. Don't tell the Pope, but actually the Pope would know what's up. The hierarchy of the church knows that they consumed paganism so that they would be able to control the magic and the power that existed there. But just saying. Okay. Anyway, what future prospects do I have to look forward to once I rebuild and stabilize? Okay. 2 of Pentacles in reverse, making a choice. Once I stabilize this energy, once I release this ego and this rigidity and the controlling behavior, once I do that, I can make a decision. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is the match, of course, to the King of Pentacles. Why is she in reverse? because there's a release of the overprotective, overbearing energy, which ironically masculine has carried to the table, right? Your person has too much overbearing, overprotective energy. That is also that is shared by this emperor when they're in shadow. So choosing not to engage in that behavior anymore. There could have been a third party, an ex-wife, that he's choosing to completely release and not hold on to anymore, or not be beholden to. And it's also just about balancing the scales with the feminine, who has been overgiving. It's turning that around and finally being the one that is giving to the feminine. All right, let us now go into the final messages from the oracles. We're going to start first. Well, there's a little more tarot left in this, but this is how I close out. So we're going to do feminine side, masculine side, and then the union. This is what we need to release in order to come into sacred sexual union. Sacred sexual union does mean sexy times, but it also means Kundalini energy, creativity. So if you're blocked in being able to create something, it can also be about that. It's not just about getting busy with your person, but it can be. You can apply it there. The union itself, coming into union, is about sexual union. It's about positive and negative energy coming together. And I don't mean that in terms of qualitative energy, but it's state of energy, a positive charge and a negative charge, right? Okay. So what is blocking divine feminine from being able to have sacred sexual union? This also means not just sex with people that we are sort of like karmic relationships. This is the Justice card in reverse. But actually like healed sacred energy. So this is going to be something that is like a beautiful, meaningful experience, not just, getting your needs met, right? So, which there's nothing wrong with getting your needs met. I'm not judging that behavior. I'm just saying, if you want really fulfilling sacred union, this is what blocks you from it. Karmic. So you might be engaging with people who are karmic. And so those sexual unions are inherently codependent. They're usually more in the devil energy. They're a bit selfish. I'm going to go there for myself, but like I enjoy performing oral. I'm bisexual. Okay. And I enjoy performing oral on both parties, female more for some reason. But when I'm with a masculine who I really love, it's one of my favorite things to do. If I'm with a masculine that I don't care about, it is the most irritating and annoying act that I feel obligated to perform, which is a problem of being a person who has experienced sexual trauma. You should never feel obligated to do anything with anyone. But the reason I feel that is because I'm meant to have the experience. Why do I feel obligated to give a person who I don't have an emotional bond with a very personal, sacred sexual experience? Because somebody taught me that before I was 4, that was my role as the feminine, to be a vessel for their needs being met. It doesn't feel good. So I avoid having sex with people because of that experience. And I'm only in tune with that now after really doing a lot of deep healing. So this is the kind of thing that feminine is experiencing. When she feels an imbalance in sexual energy, she doesn't want to have it. And this is what she needs to release. So she needs to release karmic sexual interactions in order to get into a sacred space. So any of those numbers I got last night, if that person doesn't come to me and seek a real connection with me and an emotional bond, I wouldn't feel really connected to them sexually if we took it there. I would need to develop trust. It takes 100 hours to develop trust with someone. And I really want to honor that. Not necessarily that I have to be with somebody for 100 hours before I would sleep with them, although I might, but I'm a Venus and Virgo. I can withhold forever. Also, I got that covered on my own, honey. I don't need somebody to like make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But it might just mean that my true sacred sexual connection won't happen with that person until I've established that 100 hours. So I might start, engaging with them, but it might not really be that fulfilling feeling until I've got that trust established. And it's up to me to determine if it's worth, the discomfort of navigating the feelings of the karmic feelings that might come up or might be triggered because I don't yet have security with this person, and just kind of brave that and navigate that. Like, that's something that I can do. I'm going to learn my lesson either way. Like, that's what I'm doing. Or I can just wait till I feel with this person a lot more security that my emotional needs are going to be met by them, because I need that in order to feel connected. That's just me. And I think, honestly, that's everyone. It really is. I don't think that most of us feel very fulfilled or satisfied by sexual connections that really aren't long lasting. We might have physical satisfaction, of course. You know, that's kind of goes without saying. But ultimately, that feeling we have after, where we just don't feel quite complete, that's not going to come until we feel complete in ourselves, and we keep seeking it from these karmic interactions. Once we have that, and then we engage with somebody we trust, we feel really incredible sexual energy. What will help us release this block? How can we rebuild from here? This is the 7 of Pentacles. Patience. You've planted seeds as you've been healing this energy, and you just kind of have to wait for it a little bit. You have to wait to harvest the fruits. So this is exactly what I'm saying. If you can have the patience to wait 100 hours, what is that? Like, let's say you go on 4-hour excursions with this person, okay? Then, oh fuck, I have to do the math for it. Y'all know how many dates that is? I don't know. Still a lot of dates. It doesn't mean you can't, like I said, you can't engage in, you can engage in all the kinds of fun sexual things you want to do with them. But when you're ready to really fully be in that energy, you just have to have the patience for that to develop with somebody. So if you're a person who is dating somebody and you just keep, you go on 3 dates and you're like, I'm good. You don't know that person. They're not going to be perfect every time. You're not going to feel always excited about, you have to give yourself time to get into a point where you feel comfortable. And you also have to be really patient with yourself for not wanting to engage if that's how you feel right now, and not feeling any shame about that. All right, you are in the shadow attributes right now of the shape shifter, okay? This is projecting any image that serves your personal agenda. So you have been kind of just wearing a mask, right? We saw the mask needing to come off somewhere the fuck over here. Oh, right? That's masculine wearing the mask. The feminine side of self is reflecting this energy and just kind of morphing. However, okay, masculine needs this. Oh, it's 11:22 on the clock right now. Oh, masculine needs this. Well, I'll be this then. Oh, masculine needs me to be this way. Okay, I'll be this way. Oh, my friend needs me to show up this way. Okay, now I'm this. Okay, I'm that. I'm this. I'm that. And the other thing. Who the fuck am I? I don't know, because I haven't taken a second of my life to start thinking about myself, because I've been so focused on this twin and what the twin needs. I know what my twin needs. Here's what my twin needs. My twin needs me to find a tower somewhere in on an island, ideally an island that is the only way that you can enter it is if you have your own key card. Okay. And he wants me to get on the plane and fly there to this fantasy island, climb up into the tower and sit there and just grow my hair till he can climb right up while I'm all alone, protected and safe. He can do what he needs to do and slay the dragons and get the castle. And then when he's ready, he'll climb right up my fucking hair and make me his whatever. I don't know, his queen. Which, wouldn't that be nice for you? Wouldn't it be nice if you pretended I was in a tower and that no one gave me their number last night? It would be nice. But I'm not in a fucking tower. I'm not a fairy tale. I'm a person. And I can't keep shifting to be who I think you need me to be so that you're calm and secure enough to fucking love me. I don't know why I gave you this permission for so long, but I did. And so it's time for me to step into the light. I am not a princess in a tower. I ain't never been a princess in a tower. I ain't an angel either. Like, I'm angelic. I'm tuned into the angel energy, but the angel energy comes out of my mouth sometimes during the day. And the rest of the day, I'm a fucking human with needs. I'm a person. I am not a fantasy, right? You're having trouble trusting in the fantasy of me because I'm not one, even if I have tried to make it seem like I am. It's time to be transparent with who you are. You don't need to pussyfoot around somebody who's not up for it, not ready for it. No need to transform yourself, because there are people who are going to come up to you. They don't even know you. They could be rejected by you utterly and say, hey, do you want to go with me to this piano bar over here? I'm going to perform. Yes, I do. Thank you. Right? That's going to happen. So I'm not going to make myself quiet. I'm not going to hide myself. I'm not going to dim my light. I'm not going to shift into your interests and out of mine, because it doesn't serve me. Okay? That's what the universe is telling you to do right now. Navigate through these different levels of consciousness. Have the ability to see the potential in everything. Don't try to shift into this place where you can receive what you think you need. Remember, release the idea that you know what you need. You've asked the universe, can I have a partner who will be my soulmate, who will love me? Can I have a career that will make me feel fulfilled? Can I have a family that will be a support system for me as I grow old? Can I? And the universe is like, yeah, yep, yes. Okay, getting right on that. Get everything ready. And they're like, okay, we're sending it. And you're like, thank you. I'm so happy for sending me this specific person. And the universe is like, wait a minute. She doesn't want the person that we have set up, because she wants this other person. But she told me she wanted to have a good partner and a companion for life and everything. And the person she wants is like not even anywhere close to being near there. So don't put that in. We got to do this other thing, which is just keep her in this holding pattern and help her realize that she doesn't need this person. Meanwhile, let's go help this other person who is also wanting to do this but needs to do all this work. That's what the universe is doing behind the scenes, okay? And you're like, oh, but no, you put this person in front of me and I know this is my person. And the universe is like, bitch, I put so many people in front of you. Your ass got attached to that person. I didn't tell you to get attached to that person. You're like, but I asked for signs and you gave me signs. And you're like, bitch, your ego interpreted the signs I sent you. I sent you 10 signs. I was like, don't go this way. Go this way. And you're like, oh, but I want to go this way. But don't worry, because you're going to be triumphant. You're going to have a victory over this. You already do. It's here. Your guardian angel is here to support you. You don't even know you're successful. You're like, how am I successful? I'm looking around and the success I'm looking for doesn't look like this. So clearly there must be something going wrong. And the universe is like, no, you're successful. You know your worth. You know your value. You know that what's holding you back is that you're attached to a person who doesn't, or who can't express it. Even if they do know it, they can't express it to you because of their own limitations. So you got what you asked for. You're like, no, I asked for the person. And you're like, no, that's not what you asked for. You didn't ask for the person. You said, can I feel good? Can I have love? Can I have that person can't give you that right now. So I made you whole. I healed you. I did the healing. And now you can have a person. So just get a person. There's so many of them. Pick one of them. Okay, then we're getting the key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. Can I fucking make it up? I can't make it up. And then my energy creates my reality, and what I focus on, I will manifest. Okay, so what have you all been focusing on? If you're here because of your twin flame, you've all been focusing on a person that you can't have. Every time I do my own readings and then I go back and watch them, I swear to God, I'm crying along with the rest of you. I'm like, why did I do that? It's stupid. I'm stupid. You're not stupid. You're not stupid. But you're just learning. You know, if you have a little kid and they're learning to tie their shoes and you teach them and you show the bunny thing and you're like, oh, the bunny, I need to do this. And they're looking at you like, I don't know. Like, how do I do that? And are you like, you're stupid. I can't believe you don't know how to tie your fucking shoes yet. I just showed you. You want me to show you again? Okay, fine. And then it's like 3 months later and they're still needing help. And you're like, wow, you're such an idiot. I can't believe you can't tie your damn shoes. I mean, there's probably mothers out there like that. And probably some of you have had that experience. And I do send love because that's not how it's supposed to go. So if you didn't get the right kind of experience of learning, the environment where you were supported in your learning, you might not support yourself in your environment of learning, okay? You might be like, I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, I'm not learning these things. But a true divine healed energy takes the child who's learning to tie the shoes, shows them the first time and knows, I'm going to have to show you over and over again how to do that. That's how we learn. And so 3 months later, when they're running around outside and one of their shoes is untied, and mom says, oh, baby, better tie your shoe. And the child looks down and goes to tie it. And they're like, I can't do it. I didn't get it right. The mom comes over. She's like, it's okay. You just got to keep practicing it. Every time you do it wrong, we'll figure it out. Okay, well, here's what you did. You went around this way. But if you go under like this and then tie it, here, you try. Gentle, loving allowance, permission to be working on the self, okay? It is hard to forget what we think we need. It is not easy. It is not easy to tie your shoes. You know how hard it is to have the fine motor skills to do that when you haven't developed fine motor skills yet? Tying your shoe is how you develop fine motor skills. It's one of the things they used to do in kindergarten. You get a piece of paper with the shoelaces on it and you all practice it together because this brain and these appendages we have need help becoming good at navigating material world. Why? Because we were spiritual before we came here. We never knew how to tie shoes until we got here. And if we did it before in the past, our memories of that are gone. So you're learning to love. You're learning to forget what you think you need. And whatever you're focusing on is your reality. This is the lesson you're learning. That's what this journey teaches us. This journey doesn't teach us that Joe Schmo from Idaho was our soulmate we were supposed to get married to when we came of age. That's not the lesson. If you think that's the lesson, you're going to be so disappointed so many times because the lesson is never, ever about another person. How could it be? How could the spiritual lesson be about your white house with black shutters and your car and your trip to Barbados with your super sexy, gorgeous spouse who has a great job and you have the newest iPhone and a Tesla? Those are all extremely fun things we get to do while we're here on this playground that we've been given, this Garden of Eden that's filled with all these things that could make us feel good. But they're not the fucking end all be all because not a single one of those things goes with you when you leave. The only thing that goes with you is your spirit. When you weigh a dead body, it loses weight. It loses the exact amount of weight. And that weight is literally the presence of consciousness that allows us to enjoy what is most likely a really dumb video game, frankly. You keep getting this energy of love. Look at who she loves, though. Look where her hands are. This is self-love. She has the same look of peace on her face and almost the same gesture as our gorgeous feminine in this image. And I think even a bindi here referencing this beautiful cultural image as well. So this is about loving the self and understanding that is the outcome of this process. You are good enough. This is a huge theme. Emperor in reverse all over the place is I am not worthy. You are. I don't know what I need to do to convince you. Here, answer this question for yourself. There's a person out on the street. They are hungry and they are cold. They don't have a home. They don't have a shelter. They don't have a way to create an inflow of money and abundance and prosperity. Are they unworthy? Go tell them that. Say, you know what? The reason why your life is like this is because you're not worthy of a good life. You didn't do anything that made you worthy to have food or shelter. So you sleep on the street and you be hungry and you feel that way because you're not good enough to be entitled to basic needs. First of all, if you're going to do that, get the fuck off my channel and go hang out with Jeff Bezos. But like, I don't know. I shouldn't judge him like that. Honestly, I don't know. But you have $200 billion and there's still a dude on my corner that's sick and cold and hungry. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, regardless, no judgment, Jeff. Sorry. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't say that to your own child. You wouldn't say that to your own mother. You wouldn't say that to a stranger on the street because you know it's not true. It doesn't matter if that person has made mistakes. It doesn't mean they're not worthy of having a home and food. If you think they're not, then that's a big wound that you have to heal because worthiness is implied by existing. Even a serial killer is worthy of compassion and love. You might not be worthy to roam freely and partake of victims, but he is absolutely worthy of compassion, forgiveness, and love. Because it's not our job to judge. We do not enact the true punishments here. Punishments are self-inflicted. That person is being punished. They're being tortured without you. So just actually have compassion. You have equal compassion for their victims and their victims' families, and you try to help as much as you can to prevent that person from ever being toxic towards anyone else. But they are a person. They are a person that became extraordinarily wounded and damaged beyond repair. And there is, in some ways, no hope for them in this life because most of them have such severe damage that they actually cannot experience redemption in this life except through you and your forgiveness. What is not aligned or needs to change? We saw this reciprocity. From now on, I revoke permission for you to give to anybody who doesn't value what you give to them and return it in kind. It does not have to be an exact replica of what you do. And giving in general is receiving because the feeling of giving that you get, you receive such a feeling of love and it's a good thing. Like you do get something from giving to people, but over giving to somebody who is under giving needs to change. And it comes from not believing that you yourself have worthiness as a whole, but that someone else is there that you needs to complete you. Transformation is beautiful. This is from the Colette Baron Reed deck. And it is the 11th card, which obviously has meaning. We're getting the protection message, which is transformation does not have to be traumatic or dramatic as things may seem to be right now. Remember, change is the only true constant. When you resist it, you create a tension within you as you refuse to accept the inevitable. In this moment, you might have forgotten the beauty and joy of life as it moves through its seasons, as nature dictates. You are being faced with a choice now. You can struggle with the current conditions, refusing to surrender, and see through the lens of lack and loss, or you can surrender to the grace that is calling you to allow life to take its course, moving through the sadness and disappointment. Surrender will soften you, inviting you to bask in gratitude and see through the lens of curiosity. These are the keys to tuning into the infinite potential available to you now. Butterfly spirit knows the beauty and delight you are on the brink of discovering. Let go and trust that it is there for you. All right, let's open and close a door. Okay. This is the door that needs to be open or closed for you, Divine Feminine. It is the 8 of Cups. We keep seeing this for you. This is someone who is walking away from something good, to face obstacles, to achieve something better. And the key to being able to accomplish this is none other than the 10 of Pentacles. Material fulfillment of something that you're now not attached to because you're redefining what true spiritual fulfillment means. In this image, we have a healed masculine and feminine energy, and they are children. Jesus says that you must be like a child in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven. So the obstacles that you have to overcome is this believing that what is here is meant for you with the faith of a child. If you can play and have fun on this journey and be excited about what you're really discovering, you will be able to have this material fulfillment that you seek, which is beautiful. All right. Wow, I'm feeling very exhausted. I probably got another good 30 minutes to go at least. So I'm like, woo! Give me strength. Okay, divine masculine. This is the sexual energy for you that needs to be released in order for you to come into sacred union. And why? Why am I not surprised? It is the King of Cups in reverse. This is what you have to release. All of the feelings, all of the emotion, all of the silence and withholding of the feelings and the emotion, your fears of being overwhelmed by a sacred sexual union that will make you, you're afraid that if you feel like there's nothing more fulfilling or better than this experience, that you will be in bondage to that experience, okay? You also feel like you've never really truly engaged in sexual union, or you have infrequently engaged in sexual union that is truly emotionally bonded and connected. You actually feel a lot of emotion towards your partners, but you might not have had the ability to express that during interactions with them. It might be because of the thing that was blocking feminine. She was being blocked because she was engaging in karmic interactions and not waiting for very fulfilling relationships. And so if you're doing that, then you do not feel free to express how you feel. Listen, sex releases oxytocin. Do you know what else releases oxytocin? Eating, chocolate, and nursing from our mothers. We actually experience the release of oxytocin during the nursing process as a mother, and we experience that mirrored hormonal response as an infant during nourishment, when nourishment is received. So when you engage in sexual relations with somebody, you are literally engaging in an interaction that produces the hormone responsible for bonding. If you are disconnected from the person and you can't express that to them because they'll think you're crazy if you're like, I feel love for you right now, person I just met. It does seem crazy because we don't understand love. We think that love is this special thing that's meant for this one person. And if we feel love for the person that we're fucking, there's something wrong with us. We're crazy. We're unstable. Think about it. When I meet people in this collective, I often feel compelled to say, I love you to them because I feel love for their situation. Even if I only have a 30-minute reading for them, I develop a sense of love. But I feel like if I say I love you to this person, they're going to think I'm a cuckoo bird. Think about how powerful the devil energy is, that it has suppressed our ability to love each other freely. We can't love without people thinking we're nutty. So divine masculine has to release this fear of expressing emotional bonding connection during sex, during the creation of something. And the key is to make a decision. It's the Two of Pentacles. We saw it over here. It was somewhere, didn't we? Or maybe I just did a reading before this. Sometimes that happens where no, I thought we did see the Two of Pentacles. Oh, yeah, we did. It was what he hoped for. Boom. Choosing, right? Making a choice, making a decision, which could also be letting divine feminine go. If the divine masculine is not ready, is not worthy, is not healed, he could be choosing to let you go right now so that you can go engage in partnerships that you want to have. That's another meaning of this position. What he has to look forward to is the ability to let this feminine go so that she can have a good life if he can't provide that for her. But I think it's more about him choosing to believe in himself and his ability to provide and not be overprotective and overbearing, okay? But choosing to have an emotional bond with a sexual partner. This is the key. Choosing sexual interactions that are emotionally bonded is going to help him release this fear of being able to experience that with someone, which probably means you're not engaging with a bunch of karmic energy because you can't really feel free to love them. You're in the shadow attributes of the beggar. You feel. You see, it says my connection is unstable. There we go. Please for me, because I need you to see me. You're the person who makes me feel good enough, but I don't feel good enough yet. But you do help me. No. It's not up to the feminine to make you feel better. It's not up to the feminine to bring you out from the cold. It's up to you to bring yourself out of the cold. So you have to confront empowerment at the level of physical survival, awaken the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem within yourself. Practice makes perfect. We talked about practicing already today. We don't even have to talk about it again. You have to practice tying your shoes to learn how to tie your shoes. You're not born knowing that. That's one of the skills we don't just know, okay? So you got to practice it. You weren't just born to learn how to be in a ascended, healthy, healed relationship. You have to practice it. You are healing. There's your Ace of Cups. You've received it from the divine, and Padre Pio is here to support you now that you have done the healing you need to do to actually implement the new practices that will help you to shift into the energy of, or shift out of the beggar energy. I recognize that I have chosen fear and I choose again love. Divine masculine, you're maybe forgetting this. You keep choosing your fear, thinking that you're doing it because you love the person. You think, I'm afraid to go forward to her because I love her and I don't want her to get hurt. I don't want her to experience a burden. I don't want her to tell the truth. I don't want her to know what I did. I don't want her to judge me. I'm protecting her from that experience of feeling bad about me. No, you're not. Because you did all those things. She knows it. She experienced it and she feels bad about you. You're not protecting her from feeling like that. You are just choosing your fears about how she feels. Instead of choosing to trust that when you love someone, you can set them free by loving them, not by being afraid that they can't love you or that you can't love them. This card of family is here. It's upright. I feel like you are, everything you do, divine masculine, you do for your family. You do for either the future outcome of a family that you want to have or the one that you had to leave behind. But you do come from this heart-centered place where you're really trying to do what's best for your family, your past and future versions of that family. You need this reminder that this new romantic cycle is beginning because this old cycle has ended. So this could be, you could have released a past partner, past family, whatever, but a new romantic cycle is available to you now. There's the justice, right? The scales, divine feminine is awaiting over here. So as soon as she sees this justice, your new cycle kicks in. Inner temple in reverse, just like the high priestess card, this is devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. You're afraid of tuning into your heart because it hurts in there. Look what your heart feels like. So you don't want to go in there because you're like, But you have to tune in and heal that in order to be able to take this next step. And you're getting Mintaken, which is longing for home, belonging. The original light workers, you are longing so much to go home to this feminine energy. Not realizing that you can go home to the energy within self. This is where you will find feminine energy. You will always long for home because that is longing to go back to the source. And when you finally come into union with the feminine, you both see each other and you both experience that journey as light workers together. Ironically, you will not stop longing, but your longing will shift from this person to a return to the creator. And when you finally do get ready to pass from this incarnation and you have ascended into the twin like union, supposedly, I haven't experienced it myself or know anyone who has, but supposedly when you come into union with your twin, finally, with full awareness that you've lived many lives together, that you have like overcome all these obstacles, that you've learned unconditional love, now you both go home together because your mission is complete, right? That is the, what do I want to say? The allure of the twin flame journey is it is a way to stop the ascension cycle so that you can enter into nirvana and stop having to cycle through incarnations. But what if you want to keep playing? Maybe this isn't the incarnation where you want to end the cycle yet. Maybe you want to actually come back and experience another life and have an extraordinary time. And you don't know what your higher self is really wanting until you tune in. Elephant spirit, divine masculine, learn from the past. Learn from the past. This is the 25th card, and I will read the protection message. It says, are you feeling uncomfortable with a tradition, custom, or familiar behavior that no longer fits who you are? Do you wish the past could be erased so it could no longer cause you a moment's pain? Elephant Spirit is here to encourage you to write a different story. Alter the traditions in ways that acknowledge that we all evolve, for transformation is our nature. Elephant Spirit calls you to not be selective in your memory because ignoring the good or the bad will prevent you from growing your wisdom and strength. Build on the best of the past, learn from the worst, and walk into the future, that new romantic cycle, with dignity, accompanied by Elephant Spirit who remembers the truth and honors your strength and wisdom. This is the door that you need to close or open, divine masculine. It's the 10 of Cups. This is spiritual fulfillment and sacred union. And what is the key, might you ask? Oh, it is the Empress, the divine feminine. The key to your fulfillment is a full integration of your divine feminine, which, if you are a divine masculine that views a feminine outside of self as your divine feminine incarnation, she is the key to your spiritual fulfillment. It doesn't mean that being with her in the physical is the key. It means that she has offered you the wisdom, the time, the abundance, the prosperity, the nurturing, the nourishing, the love, the patience, the endurance that you needed for you to understand that spiritual fulfillment is in union with self. Now, if you value this lesson and you value this person in your life who taught you this lesson, and you integrate that person into your life, you will be able to experience material fulfillment here. But whether you do or not, you will be able to experience simply fulfillment itself purely by allowing that divine feminine to be on equal level, on equal footing as the emperor. Valuing her, not putting her above all others on a pedestal like the star, right? Not putting her above you, unattainable, high priestess. No. putting her next to you on the throne, sharing the throne, ruling together, collaborating. Love it. All right. Oh, I wish I could stop, but I have to finish this reading, but I'm so tired and like my neck hurts. I don't know why. I'm sure it's just because I had alcohol, which is the devil. Okay, this is the sexual energy for the union as a whole. So this is what's happening right now for you to come into sacred sexual union, which is ultimately union of the twins. We have transformation, death card, and the princess of coins or the page of coins. So we are going through a major transformation and we're taking very small steps to get there. We are easing in to our union because we have had to let things die and go through the grief of that death and allow something to reborn. And now it's in its baby stages. And we're easing into the place where we can finally experience sacred sexual connection. It's 11:55 on the clock. Sacred sexual connection, but it comes one step at a time. You are both reveling in intimate union with the divine. So you are really actually in your powers of the mystic. You are potentially in your 5D having a lot of tantric things going on, but it's all about learning about that power and energy of the divine, and that connection is what truly gets you off, so to speak. But it's powerful, and it's also about your union with each other, reveling in that union and the potential and possibility for it. Generosity is in reverse. I think you need to be a little more generous with one another. I think generosity is about patience with someone. So for the feminine, you might not be feeling like you want to be giving your energy to this masculine because you were overgiving, and that's okay. But then you just need to be patient and you need to be generous of spirit. So you're not in a place where you're holding angst or anger against this person. You're not begrudging them the time it takes for them to do what they need to do. You're just being generous. You're just like, okay, I'm not going to badmouth this person. I'm not going to talk shit to my friends about it because I actually don't even feel that. I feel this generosity that's like, I know that you need your time to figure yourself out, and I will give you that time, but I'm also going to respect my time and what I'm doing and my fulfillment in the meantime. And I'm not going to be rubbing that in your face, so to speak. I'm not going to hide though and mask it and hide it from you because I don't want to keep it secret that I am, enjoying my life. That shouldn't be something I have to hide for you. I shouldn't need to shape shift into that for you. But I definitely need to do what is best for me and give myself the gifts I've been withholding because I've been saving them for you. And that has not served either of us. It's allowed you to take, honestly, way too much time, which makes you feel worse. And it's just put me into a place where I'm starting to resent you. So that is how feminine needs to be generous. Do not blame the masculine energy. Do not feel salty toward the masculine energy. Just allow him to have the time he needs. Just generously give him the time he needs and the space that he needs. And then masculine, you must stop withholding your gifts that you are not sharing with the feminine. Abundance, expression, love, proximity. These things you need to be much more generous with. If you are generous with your time and your presence, then divine feminine's generosity and patience in regards to how long it's taken you will complement each other, and you will see a sense of peace coming from that energy. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. So this is you in the tower, and you are getting uncomfortable, but you're finding that you're actually learning quite a lot from this experience, and it's really benefiting you. And so you are embracing that sometimes separation is exactly what needs to happen because it's protecting ourselves from getting burned or drowning in our emotions. It's giving us the space we need to reflect on exactly what is keeping us from our happiness. Empowerment, Empress energy. both of you are really fully in your power. And wow, I have a ton of text messages. The girl texted me back, guys. She was beautiful. I'm excited. Okay. Anyway, empowerment. Feeling in my energy right now of empowerment. So you're both in this place where you have what it takes to be able to do what you want to do. By releasing the Emperor's energy, you're actually not releasing the power. You're increasing the power the Emperor has. The Emperor who is imbalanced, who does not have an Empress, he's weak. We actually say, oh, men are weak if they behave like women, right? That's why we have a disdain for men who are homosexual, or for men who dress in drag, or for men who are transitioning, anything like that. We're like, there's this heavily patriarchal, misogynistic disgust at that weakness, which is an illusion perpetuated by the ego. Because the truth is, men who are not connected to their hearts are the weakest. Where's the proof? Hitler. Okay, he did some badass emperor-like shit, Voldemort style, right? You're like, wow, he was a great orator. He convinced all these people to be insane, and he killed millions of people. He was the worst. And when you see him and you look at what he did, what do you think of him? You think, ugh, what a pathetic, disgusting little man who like felt powerful by literally being a mass murderer. Like, we're disgusted by that. We're just, and he seems weak to us. He doesn't seem strong. He killed himself. I mean, he didn't, but that's the storyline. He was even willing to accept that. He was even be like, I'm going to kill myself. It wasn't even like I got shot in defense of my empire. No, he fucking just kills himself and hides and runs away to South America and tries to have the Fourth Reich. We don't have respect for somebody like that. He seems weak to us. Trump. Does Trump seem powerful to you? Or does he seem like a wink, simpering little mama's boy? Because that's what he seems like to me. That's the truth of the imbalance. Those two individuals that get lumped together unfairly, because one is just so much worse than the other, I think. But regardless, and you can guess who that person is, regardless, those are weak men because they are not at all in touch with their feminine energy. So they are weak, and they will always be weak. And that's why they fight so hard for power, because they feel weak. They feel disconnected from the source of power within them that they have dampened because they have been told that that source is actually weak, which is an illusion, which does what? It perpetuates violence and suffering on the earth. So do you think it would be important to Jesus to balance feminine and masculine inside of ourselves if we wanted to end suffering on the earth? Probably. But the good news is that your divine masculine is not weak. Your divine masculine is integrating feminine energy. Your divine masculine is in touch with his feelings. He can cry. He can feel pain. He can feel those feelings and not feel weak. In fact, he feels the strength of the feminine. Who the fuck gives birth on the planet? It's not Hitler or Trump. So are you going to try to tell me that I'm weak, motherfucker? I literally give birth to you. There's not a man on the planet who can do that. How can I be weak? How can I be the weaker sex? How? I'm not. But the illusion that I am serves the purpose of the distortion that has ruled on the planet for so long. But it's a time for healing now. It's a time to heal this inside of us, this distortion that we carry, this belief that a woman who is powerful should go to prison, Martha Stewart, but a man who is powerful can grab all the pussies he wants and then get power back again when he runs again, which you know he will do. You're going through the initiation. It's a crossing over. You've heard of initiation rituals. Some of them involve slicing parts of our body off, okay? Initiations are physically uncomfortable. Sometimes we're sent off into the woods alone with a compass. Good luck. Without a compass. Good luck. Hope you paid attention to the position of the sun and that you don't have a terrible sense of direction. They're uncomfortable. But we have to cross through that discomfort to get to the other side. And if we don't go through pain, we don't get benefit. A pregnant woman giving birth, when she gets an epidural, which numbs her, she actually loses the momentum of the labor and delivery, which is why they often have to give you a dose of trying to think of what it is to speed up the labor. I can't think of it. There's a drug they give you. And when they give you that, that tells your body, okay, contract, get the baby out. But your body didn't need actually the extra message. If it had progressed naturally through the pain that it was supposed to endure, your body would have known, okay, it's time to open up and release this from me. So we actually have to feel the pain itself in order to know what stage of the birthing process we're in so that we know what to do. It's the same with anything. We have to experience the pain and physical suffering. If we don't value the thing. If you just, bloop, oh, here's a baby. You know how annoying babies are? You know how fucking annoying a newborn infant is? I have a baby who turned into a 15-year-old recently. And I got to tell you, that baby, if I didn't feel was precious, that I worked really hard for that baby, there would have been days when I would have gone to the neighbor's house, knocked on the door, and been like, do you want this? I bought it, and I don't know. I'm not liking it that much. Like, I feel like I might be more into like a dog or something than this, because this is a lot more than I was bargaining for. And I'm just kind of bored with it. And, you know, I think I just want to like do something else. We have to experience a lot of suffering sometimes to have a sense of what we should be grateful for. Like when masculine or feminine go into a karmic relationship, they suffer usually. Because first of all, they have to learn lessons, and there's probably some tower moments that are going to come. And they realize after they go through the whole thing that like, oh, I thought it was going to be better than my masculine energy because it was so hard to get with the masculine energy. But what I'm realizing is that when it's actually easy to get with an energy that's coming in, it's probably because it's matching me where I'm at, and I wasn't at all ready for that. And like, it really wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. And it got away from me real fast because we didn't really want to work hard on it. So it wasn't really worth that much to me. Believe in yourself. This is the final closing messages from Spirit. We're going to have this, and then we're going to open and close the door. Believe in yourself. 57. It says, you have accumulated wisdom and experience and are surrounded by all you need. An abundance of resources is available to you through the generosity of Spirit and all your hard work. Squirrel Spirit shows up when you need reminding that the acorns you have gathered and stowed away have enormous potential to grow. So relax into knowing there is always enough, and you have what it takes to co-create the reality you want to experience. Through diligent preparation, you have gained wisdom and strength. How much potential you have. Believe in yourself, for Spirit believes in you and wants you to know you have enough and are enough. Doesn't that truth make you feel safe and secure? It should, for you have everything you need right now. So Divine Masculine, I don't feel like I have everything I need right now. The universe is saying, shut up, you do. Shut up. You're always talking, always saying things. You Americans. Do you know that's super the meaning of life when the Grim Reaper who's coming up next is like, you Americans always saying, let me tell you, and I've got something to say. Well, you're dead now, so shut up. Here's the death card. This is the door that needs to be opened and closed or closed for this relationship. We have been grieving the loss of the experience that we were seeking. We have ended things that don't serve us. And we're just kind of sitting there now in the grief, which is good because we do need to sit with our grief. From that process of grieving grows our new romantic cycles or our new careers or new opportunities or new life within us, however that looks. But once this grieving is done, it is time to move out of the cemetery and go back to the world and experience a new life. And the key to this is the Queen of Wands, who is confident, visionary. She is magnetic. She is an excellent communicator. And again, it is the divine feminine energy. And look at, she's married to herself. There is the sense here, there is no groom, but she definitely looks like a bride in this image. She's let go of the idea that she won't feel this if she's on her own. Even the masculine energy, because this is the union energy for the both of you. Even the masculine energy must feel like his divine feminine is enough inside of himself, that he doesn't need the one outside of himself to make himself feel better, but that he can make himself feel better, which will elevate him into a position where he feels worthiness to be able to actually come forward. So both the masculine and feminine must hold the feminine as a confident, visionary, magnetic side of self. This will help both of you to come into union. Now, I really must stop. I am so exhausted. I promise that I will never drink again, even though I didn't even drink that much. Like, this is just, I don't know. I've heard other people say in the spiritual community this happens, like where you just, alcohol is just like not the thing. I have never been a fan, but I get, like, I could go back to sleep right now. It's 12 and I could just go back to bed. Like, and I have to go to another event tonight. I have my friends are doing a show in Highland Park, which I'm really excited about. My photographer, Chelsea Rose, who's really talented. She's also an incredible musician that I collaborate with, and she's doing a show tonight with her sister, Justine. They're part of the band The Summer Twins, which you should check them out. They're amazing. Now they're both solo. One is called Easy Love. That's Justine. And then Chelsea is Chelsea Rose. And you can find my music at pearlsprayers.com. Since I'm Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and I write, record, and produce music, I work with artists. If you're an artist and you want to work with me, I do co-produce, collaborate, and I have mentoring where I teach you how to use the divine feminine in production because it's taught from a masculine perspective. And, you know, they're always like, oh, I'm going to do this math problem and turn around backwards and suck your own dick. And you're like, or you could just turn this knob and hear the sound of it and know that that was the right decision to make because you're a feminine and you're fully intuitive. Anyway, so I do teach production and I co-produce. I do personal readings, of course. You can send me a deck. You can send support. This is my only work. I am a tarot reader and a musician, both jobs where I'm like, please send me tips. So if you would like to do that, you can go to my website, click support, and send. Even the smallest gratuities help me. I mean, $5 is, you know, like the cost of the coffee that I brew for myself, or I could go buy one coffee for that cost. But anyway, regardless, you can totally help me out there. And of course, getting new decks is always exciting. And I have more imagery for you. So there's an option there for that. And then if you're confused about which reading to choose or my schedule, or you want me to clarify something, there's my email there as well. There's a contact form in booking where you can just be like, hi, this is what I can afford, which might be less than the readings are. And this is what I'm looking for. And I'll try to accommodate you as best as I can. I don't have as much time for free readings anymore, like personal free readings, but I do hours of these free readings for you. So there's plenty for you to sift through. Go back through my whole collection, and I'm sure you're going to find the answers that you need. Schedule. So my assistant is working on getting a calendar up so that when you go to Tuned In Tarot, there's just like, this is what happens every week. But just to give you that information, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm here on YouTube. We do a check-in on Monday, obstacles remove on Wednesday, and this reading, release, and rebuild on Fridays. On Thursdays and Sundays, I do on Instagram I will be doing Tell Me Everything spreads or financial blockages spreads. Those happen Thursdays and Sundays. And then Saturday, I've been doing readings with Grace Strega on Instagram Live. We will start on TikTok for 30 minutes, and then we go over to Instagram, check in, and do card pulls for people. So Saturday is a day that you can probably get a card pull from us, and we could read personally for you. And then 6 days a week, I am on TikTok, and I do intermittent, free, spontaneous readings. And sometimes I go on there for 2 hours. So if you catch me on there, there's an opportunity that I will read your energy if I see your comments. Those go very fast, though. I cannot guarantee it, but everybody gets their questions answered because I tell you, I do a session for 2 hours and I'll keep looking. I just basically take whatever one catches my eye and I'll be like, okay, this emoji. Everybody's questions are the same. When is he coming back? How does he feel about me? And so because you're all in the same collective, a lot of times when I'm giving the question, somebody says, when is he coming back? You're probably going to have a really similar response. If you're there, you're called to get the message. So don't freak out if you don't get your personal question answered. You got to listen to all the messages because the answers are in there. Thank you so much for being with me today. I am going to rest now for a few hours and then get ready to go out again, but I will not be drinking. I will be definitely just probably smoking weed because that's all I do all day anyway. Okay, have the best day. I shall see you all tomorrow with Grace Strega at around noon-ish. We've been doing Pacific Coast time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check our stories for the exact time sometime in the morning when you wake up, and you'll know when we're going live tomorrow to be able to ask questions. That session, the Instagram live, you can usually get your questions asked there, especially if you put it in a little comment bubble. You're almost guaranteed to get your questions asked on that session because it's a little less people. All right, take care, everybody.